Hi, everybody. It looks like, I want to give it a minute here. It looks like a lot of folks are coming into the room here. A lot of familiar names, a lot of new names. Welcome. Excellent. Welcome, welcome. I think we can the little counter on the side is slowing down, so I think it's time for us to get started. Welcome everybody to the Cal Poly California Cybersecurity Institute's conversation and info session on our Space Grand Challenge. We're thrilled to have folks joining us today. I got to take a look at where folks were coming from. It's a pretty exciting group. Feel free to drop in the chat, where you're coming from, where you're calling in from. It's a fun environment. We'd love to see and celebrate everyone and the breadth of folks coming and joining this conversation. My name is Kayvon Chinichian, and I am going to be the MC for the afternoon here. Just to kind of start with some administrative announcements, I figure we can just quickly run through the agenda for today. We'll be doing a little bit of a background on the challenge. We'll be looking at a preview. My colleague will be showing you a preview of the competition and what to expect and why it's important in terms of cybersecurity education as well as space education. We'll have a little healthy competition at the end with some prizes. And we'll wrap with a quick Q&A. We want to make sure that folks have all the answers they need to get their teams set up and started for this year's challenge. But without further ado, let's jump right in. So I want to make sure that I introduce my colleagues and the team here. So as I mentioned, my name is Kayvon Chinichian. I'm the Senior Director of Development here at the Cal Poly Cybersecurity Institute, and I'll be the MC for this program. I'll do a little bit of a popcorn situation here and pass it off to Henry. Henry, you're muted.
All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming by. I'm Henry Danielson, Technical Advisor and Global Range Master for the California wonderful institute here, Cyber Institute, and also a professor at Cal Poly. Next, my wonderful colleague, McKenna.
Hi, everyone. I'm McKenna Downing, and I am the Marketing and Communications Coordinator here at the Cybersecurity Institute. So getting all of the outreach and social media and campaigning for this event done. Excited to see you all here.
Awesome. Well, as we kind of get started, please continue throwing in where you guys are calling in from. We'd love to see it. Before we really dive in, this is going to be a running theme and punchline from me. Registration is open for the Space Grand Challenge. So please feel free to take a look, peruse it while we're talking, follow up. We'll send you plenty of emails about this. But I also wanted to take an opportunity to feature our social media accounts. The relevance of this is that in order to play the Space Grand Challenge and really excel at it, follow us on social media, our Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. We'll be dropping little clues starting in August, going through September, making the challenge that much more fun for all those that are playing. And so we're thrilled to have everyone kind of start the process. But with that being said, I'm actually going to pass it off to our leader here, Bill Britton. He has a recorded message. Bill Britton is our Vice President of Information Technology and CIO, as well as the Director of the CCI. So I think Bill has a message for us.
Welcome to the annual Space Grand Challenge. I'm Bill Britton, Vice President of Information Technology at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. I could not be more happy to be welcoming you here to this event today. You are in for an amazing challenge. We're going to test you. We're going to question you. We're going to interview you. We're going to make sure that when you're done with this competition, you have exercised your brain, you have learned new skills, and you become our future. You know, it's really interesting. I just returned from a conference on cybersecurity and low Earth orbiting LEO satellites, mostly CubeSats. I was amazed by the size of the audience and the lack of full transparency and knowledge about cybersecurity for small platforms. Is it too costly? Is it really necessary? What's the risk? All these are the kinds of questions that they're asking in these conferences. And yet, amazingly, you're competing with exactly those kind of problem sets in this challenge. I am most excited for what our future brings, because I know that you'll achieve great things in this challenge. You'll learn things, and you'll become the future and protect those platforms for us. You're going to have a ton of fun. I want you to have the most fun possible. I want you to stay safe and think about your cyber future. Thanks for coming to Cal Poly, and thanks for being part of the Space Grand Challenge. Britain out.
Thank you, Bill. So, you know, just to kind of build off of what Bill has been talking about, here at the CCI, we're a part of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And this is an exemplar of the pedagogy that is available at Cal Poly, the learn by doing ethos that drives everything that our students and faculty strive for. Our mission at the CCI is bolstering cyber defense. And we do that through a variety of verticals, specifically providing trainings, accelerating our learn by doing ethos on campus, and finally building an Empower initiative for early education opportunities around cybersecurity. The Space Grand Challenge is our flagship annual event where we do a cybersecurity CTF. But I'm going to pause there, and I'm going to pass it off to my colleague, Henry, to actually give you guys a little bit more fidelity on what the competition is and what to expect and what does it feel like to play it. So, Henry.
All right. So welcome, super psyched to be here today, and welcome to all the family and friends that I know that are in here hanging out with us in Zoomy Zoom, and to all the YouTube people, please go follow us and, you know, all of the social media stuff that you're supposed to be doing on the side of this planet. So what is the Space Grand Challenge? Great question. Thanks for asking, Kayvon. Space Grand Challenge basically this year became an international competition open to middle and high school students from across the globe. And that date, should write this down, October 7th through the 9th, 2022, teams will compete in a virtual competition to solve mission Collexium 7850, a satellite hacked cybercrime. So what can the students expect to gain? One thing is, at the end of it all, during competition, we actually give a digital badge that they're able to use, put on their LinkedIn, their website, or whatever, to share some of the skills and knowledge they had to use during the competition. So some of the cool things that we're going to talk about in the competition and use are some coding languages, obviously Python being one of the top ones, a little bit of C+ in there, some Java as well, and JavaScript, understanding how code works, data structures, stacks, heap, we'll talk a little bit about that, design patterns, a little bit of code injection, loving ciphers, secret codes, and ROT base 64, if you will, or maybe a different base, you never know. We also have other things like DDoSes and denial of service attacks, otherwise known as security, some WEPs, understanding how to crack passwords and understand what that looks like. We're also going to look at the malware and other things that go on the satellites, payloads. You'll understand blockchain. We have a wonderful unit on blockchain for high school students. It's an amazing unit. And then, of course, VPN, and talk a little bit about how that works. And of course, the dynamics of orbits, orbital dynamics, and how we need to incorporate understanding how space works, as well as the wonderful cyber components that are attached to it on the payloads, with respect to the ground control station as well as a satellite. Next slide. So another way to look at this in broken down skills or translatable skills from the Space Grand Challenge is we like to talk about the cloud. We want to talk about Amazon cloud service and space station dynamics and how that works. We incorporate data science so students will understand some of those basic components of data science. Information technology and or IT, as well as cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, and ML or machine learning. So we touch on a lot of different topics that actually go through the Space Grand Challenge. Forensics is a huge one as well. You use a wonderful piece of a software that lets you look at hard drives and mobile phones. There will be mobile phone forensics again, one of the hints for today as well, that we'll be using on there. Next slide. So what to expect on the game day? It's all day Saturday. So Friday is our opening ceremonies that come on. We talk, we have a couple special VIP guests that we try to get to enhance and excite people. The competition is 7 hours long, and you have to prepare with your team for overlapping breaks. So it goes that whole gamut. Also, the students are on Discord. That's what they use to game. If you don't know what Discord is, they use that to play games in a wonderful collaboration tool. And then also, we actually use Twitch, and we Twitch stream it. And we broadcast this live with our Cal Poly esports team. And this is last year's Cal Poly esports team. Was awesome. They went into the rooms with the students, talked with them while they're actually going through the competition, asking questions. My favorite part last year was, what was your favorite donut? We had a live donut talk or discussion, live scoring. But again, the final scoring is still after the competition. And again, we have opening ceremonies and closing ones as well. So also, we are using what we like to call special blips of professionals that are on the Twitch stream. So we're going to have professionals talking from maybe Space Force or maybe you know, some of the other large companies that are doing space, as well as cybersecurity professionals, so that you can kind of see what's happening and going on. All right, next slide. So what I'd like to show now is a preview of the environments and kind of going along, and you can mute it if you want. Go ahead, you can hit play. And this is a really cool way to kind of understand Unity and some of the environments that we have in here. This is our hacker hideout. That's totally awesome. And it has a bunch of different computers in there, and you're walking around. Unity is an environment that most gaming platforms are built on, PS5, the Xbox, and other gaming consoles. And it's a live 3D immersive environment where you're allowed to walk around. Here's our server room. You saw a brief show of the actual ground station, and comes back to hacker hideout. Which is the unwanted guests hacker hideout. They're the hacker team. Here's Moonshot Satellites ground control station. And it's super awesome because a lot of these computers have challenges and other things that are actually on there that you get to fly through. And again, we bippity bop back through one of the server rooms that has some challenges is in there as well. Okay, we can stop that part and go on to the next video. Thank you, Kenna. All right, so this one, we're going to talk a little bit about the Unity rooms themselves. And she's going to scroll through to find a perfect spot or a close enough spot. This is, again, Moonshot Satellites, and this is a person walking around, and you can use a regular PC or Mac or Linux to be able to do this, but you do need a pretty good normal graphics card. You don't need anything special to be able to walk around. And so here's one of the questions. They come up here, and here's a puzzle. If we can pause that for a second, that would be awesome. So once in orbit, the spacecraft will have two main forces exerting their grab onto it. And then which one is it? Burn and space dust, circular orbit and flat orbit, parabolic orbit and elliptical orbit, or is it the tangential velocity and the gravitational pull? So you can go ahead and hit play. I'm going to go ahead and give you the answer, because I know some of you are thinking, I know it, Henry, wait, I want to know. Or I can put that in the chat. But anyway, the answer is, just a second, go ahead, it'll show it in just a sec. He bippity bops through. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Nope. And lastly, but not least, it is actually the top one, the top left, the tangential velocity. So you can go ahead and stop the video and we can go to the next video. This one is really cool. This will walk you through some of the other Unity rooms that we have in here. Go ahead and hit play, and you have to speed them up a little bit. And you can go full screen on these. That's what the web browser allows you to do. And again, what's really amazing about this technology is you just need a browser. You don't need a huge games console to play our game. We're going to be doing some wonderful things to enhance this year with some of the other rooms that are out there. And she's going to scroll through a little bit to SDK. So SDK is a software toolkit that we used to develop. This has about over 60 satellites, and you have to actually go in and try to figure out which ones have been compromised or been hacked. And we're really proud of this one because this is what people at NASA use, JPL, other folks on the planet actually use, and you can stop it there. And that left actual piece of paper or PDF has about, I think there's like over 400 data points that you have to figure out what time, where it was, its geospatial location to be able to find out when that satellite was hacked. So just to give you a level of brevity and understanding of where we go with this actual Space Grand Challenge. All right, next. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Kayvon. He's going to talk a little bit more about some additional resources. I hope that was great.
Thanks. Thank you, Henry. So what Henry just showed you all is kind of a preview of what the game would feel like, how the players would interact with the space. What I want to kind of take a moment to share is, what are the additional resources out there for folks interested in the Space Grand Challenge and participating in this year's competition. At the conclusion of this call, we'll be putting together a wrap-up email that we'll send out next week. In that, it will have information about how to register, what kind of prep materials we have, a full mission brief, and of course, software and hardware requirements. But as Henry mentioned, the requirements aren't exclusive to having a big machine, having a browser, and and internet access gets you plenty far. We did for this year also modified the competition for our Spanish-speaking players so that we will have it translated in English as well as Spanish. And we will have resources for hearing and vision impaired participants as well. A final, and I promised that I was going to make this a theme every time I spoke. The training curriculum, I believe, Henry, if I'm not mistaken, you have put together about 80 plus hours worth of materials. So that those questions that you got to see earlier that Henry was sharing, that's all in the materials that Henry has pulled together, and it's available. As you know, you don't even have to technically register. It is available if you go to our website. So my encouragement to everybody is get started. The sooner you start, the sooner you're prepping for the Space Grand Challenge, and the sooner you're going to win the challenge. Next slide, please. To take a step back, a lot of first off, a round of applause to all the teachers and administrators and coaches who are on this call. I got to take a look at the list earlier today, and I saw a huge number of teachers on it, which it's awesome to see. This competition happens because teachers inspire their students to be able to play competitions like these. So my hat off to all of you, and to take a call during the summer for some people after 5 o'clock. So to just kind of build on that, the expectations are rather minimal, going all the way up to hands-on. So we encourage teachers and administrators to help prep, train, and provide the participants assistance with with the prep material, as I mentioned, the 80 hours worth of content. They can do that all the way up to October 6th, the day before the actual competition. During the competition, teachers, coaches, administrators are not allowed to weigh in and assist their participants. And if for those that do get caught, there will be a forfeiture of their play. But nonetheless, we are happy to have a conversation about resources. Please feel free to email us if you have questions, if there's something that you guys are thinking through or want to have some advice on. Henry, myself, McKenna, our colleague Danielle, we are always ready to help out with this, with providing resources to teachers, because at the end of the day, that's what makes this competition really fun, is getting engaged students, and that happens when teachers are involved with us. We will have opportunities for volunteers as well. I know that there's a couple parents out there that are interested in figuring out how they can contribute. We have a lot of needs when we turn on the game on those 3 days, especially on October 8th, the actual day of the game. Feel free to reach out to us. Again, the CCI account. We can kind of talk you through some of the options that we have on how you can volunteer a few hours to help us make this game out of this world. But nonetheless, if you don't volunteer on the day of, we invite you to tune in and watch the game itself. As Henry mentioned, we have this broadcast on Twitch. We'll have it live, and we'll have it in an entertaining environment so that folks can interact and see how teams are doing, how challenges are progressing, and what teams are crushing and what teams are figuring it out in a collaborative way. It's going to be a really fun day. Last year, we were thrilled to have almost 1,000 viewers on our Twitch channel on the day of the competition, which is phenomenal, and we hope to blow that out of the water this year. We'll also have some other activities for coaches. We'll have a little coaches corner on our Discord channel, offering some opportunities to network and have conversations around the program. So, next slide, please. And I said I was going to bring it up again. Register. The registration is open. All you need, and I think this might be a question that's coming in right now, all you need to register a team is a minimum of 3 students and a maximum of 6. We like to have this in team environments. All students are welcome, whether they are from public, private, charter, or home schools. The age bracket is middle school and high school. And we do require, because of the requirements of the state of California, we do require 1 adult to sign the team in. Usually that can be a teacher, that could be a parent, it could be a coach, a computer science club advisor, just 1 adult to sign the students in for the competition. The other requirement I always like to mention is the adult coaches can sign in more than 1 team. So if your school has 2 teams of 6 students, and so you have 12 students that are really intrigued, it can be the same coach signing them in. So we want to maximize the amount of students participating in this year's challenge. I'll end it with just, again, a reinforcement of social media. I know my colleague McKenna has been posting the different social media channels in there. Follow us. We're going to be dropping some very, very helpful clues starting in August. And we'll be making announcements about prizes and different opportunities of who's speaking at this year's competition. I would like to take the opportunity to just thank the partners that we have that make this competition possible. We mentioned at the top, this competition is completely free, and it's free because of the resources that are generously provided to us from our sponsors. We would like to thank Fortinet, Elementrix, AWS, JPL, the Foundation for the Future, the Space Systems Command, and the National Security Space Association for their support and helping us raise the appropriate dollars to make this game available, free, and fun for all of our participants from around the world. Additionally, we'd just like to foot stomp that, if folks are interested in learning more about ways to get involved, please feel free to reach out to us at the CCI account, and we'd be happy to have a conversation on what opportunities there are.
I want to also add, we have been working with the Space Force as well. They actually got to test our game last summer, and I'm really proud that they've been a wonderful support mechanism for us as well.
Thank you. So I'm going to pass it off to Henry in just a moment here. He's going to give you a little bit of a quick lesson before we jump into the little competition, healthy competition. I do want to thank our sponsor, Fortinet, for generously providing us a couple of prizes for some of our winners from today. Again, thank you to them for making this a fun environment with some stakes. I'm just going to pass it off to Henry, and Henry, teach us some cybersecurity.
All right. So I just have something really short, what we're calling the Cyber 101. So let's review some quick Cyber 101 tips, tricks, whatever you'd like to call it. And recall at the end of this, we are going to have a Kahoot. And again, we do have some prizes today for some winners. So first, I want to talk a little bit about logic bombs. What are logic bombs? So logic bombs are used by threat actors or, bad people, cyber wizards that are doing bad stuff, where a string of malicious code is inserted intentionally into a program to harm a network when certain conditions are actually met. So logic bombs, a lot of times what will happen is they're timed. And what happens is they're sometimes insider threat, which means, it could be a disgruntled employee, something to that effect, where they put some code in and it's timed. And it's only going to go off at a certain point, but when it does some pretty big harm. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the OSI model. Let's discuss the OSI model. And the OSI model is critical in understanding how cyber threats and incidents are handled. The OSI model includes 7 layers. The first layer is your physical layer. Your second layer is your data link layer. Your third layer is your network layer. Then number 4 is your transport layer. And then your session layer. And then number 6 is your presentation layer where you're actually on it. And then the last being your application layer. And again, don't forget that the physical layer is the first layer in the OSI model. And I don't want to give too much about it because I always think about our learn by doing, and I think it's really important to understand how to learn. And when you GTS that or Google that stuff, you'll be able to find a little bit more. But I do know for a fact, a lot of people will train in a security operations center in a SOC. And one of the things we like to do is hold up the OSI model and say, okay, we were hacked at this part on the network. What layer does that fit on the OSI model? And the reason that's important is because you're able to identify quickly which layer the actual threat or the incident came in on. So the OSI model, I think, is really, really important component of what we're teaching here and in cyber and space. Now, another quick tool I want to talk about is Wireshark. So Wireshark is a network tool. It's free. Anybody can download it, PC, Mac, whichever, that is often used for capturing what we call data packets. And one of my favorite words on the planet is packet sniffing. And what that means is you're actually, sniffing through the data packets to try to find some critical information or some sensitive information. So back to what I was saying, it's used for capturing data packets, identifying and analyzing protocols and inspecting the contents of data packets. This tool is used quite regularly in the Space Grand Challenge. So those are three cool, fun things about cyber that I wanted the people on the phone call to kind of understand a little bit better about, and some of the things that we do. Also, always think about, when was the first satellite hacked? I'm sorry, when was the first satellite launched? Does anybody know that? Well, I GTS that, because that might be one of the questions coming up. So that is the parts that I have in the quick space lesson / quick cyber 101 for you all. And I hope you enjoyed a little bit and learned some. And can I get a thumb up or a yeah, boy, or something fun in the chat to let me know you're enjoying what I'm saying, or did everyone leave? Are we all here still? All right, awesome, cool. Thank you for giving me some shout outs. I appreciate it there. Kayvon, back to you.
Awesome. Well, McKenna is going to set up the Kahoots. So just in one moment, we're going to be throwing up a new web page, and please follow the instructions on it. You can do it through your phone. I tested it earlier today on my phone, or you can take your web browser if you're on a computer, and you just have to type in the game pin, and you'll be able to participate in the competition. So just one moment while we get that started on the back end.
It's so great to see you out here from space.
So as you can see up there, it says join at the URL there, kahoot.it. And then please go ahead and type in the game pin being 421-7503. Feel free, for those that are inclined, to use the QR code. That's also a fast way to get yourself there too. I'm seeing a lot of movement here. We'll give it another couple minutes here. Awesome.
And to someone in the chat that's saying, I most likely can't run most of this stuff. That's okay. That's what learning's about. We encourage anyone to go to our Space Ground Challenge page and sign up for the student training, and you can learn a lot.
Okay. I'm going to give it another 15 seconds.
I love someone signed in for me. Thank you, Henry D. And I like the troll. I appreciate that, troll.
Can we get to 30? Can we get to 30? I feel like we lost one and gained one at the same time. We got to 30.
Oh,
awesome.
Boy, the GOAT. All right. I think
Awesome.
Anthony, he might win. I could feel it.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's, McKenna, let's go ahead and start. Oh, I think we got another one. So again, just go ahead and answer the questions. We're going to throw the questions up, and then we'll do a live scoring. So a logic bomb is a string of malicious code inserted into a program to harm a network when certain conditions are met. True or false? And remember, folks, speed is important here too.
Awesome. Look how many people knew the answer. Woohoo!
Okay, let's see.
Oh,
let's see
man.
who's in the pack.
We're kind
Okay.
of John leading the pack. Tied at
Awesome.
1,000.
Okay, let's see. We got some Space Grand Challenge questions in here too. So what is the Space Grand Challenge? Like,
Ooh, a tricky one. Tricky, 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 tricky.
a little picture of the gamer. That's fun. Okay, we got some folks that were paying attention. I like that. I like to see that. Like, awesome. Physical layer is the first layer in the OSI model, excuse me. True or false?
All right,
Awesome.
look at these winners. Winner,
Love it.
dinner. Awesome. Or winner, vegetable dinner.
Dang. There will be a clue campaign on the CCI social media that will help players compete in the Space Green Challenge. Folks, I talked about it a lot, so.
Come on, get that number. All right, 8, 7. All right, look at these
Awesome.
winners. Woo, awesome. All right, McKenna, let's rock. Ooh, Sean here, and yeah, she's pulling to the top.
It's close though. And Wireshark is used for capturing data packets, identifying and analyzing protocols, and inspecting the contents of data packets. Ooh,
Dang,
fast.
boom. Look at these
People
wizards. Knew
people
that
wanna
answer.
Sweet.
Couple more questions.
Another Space Grand Challenge one. What do you need to run the Space Grand Challenge?
All right, get ready. All right, awesome.
Awesome.
Ooh, Sean
Ooh,
here. Yeah,
it's
you're doing it.
dead heat up there.
Last
Yeah.
question. Ooh, ooh. Tricky
When
one.
was the first GPS satellite launched?
Oh, we got a couple. Awesome. All right, and let's check out the winner. Here we go. Who's on the podium today? Peterson, takes third. Awesome. Trevor, second. And number 1, Jay. All right, Jay comes from behind. Awesome. Runners up, Xavier and Sean. Awesome.
Congratulations. This is awesome.
How do you claim your prize, Kayvon?
Well, so our friends at Fortnite have generously offered a couple small prizes. So I'm going to ask that Peterson, Trevor, and Jay shoot me an email. And McKenna's going to throw the slides up in just a moment here. Shoot me an email and I'll get them all set up on their prizes. So congratulations again, Peterson, Trevor, and Jay. Well played. And I hope folks had a little bit of fun and levity this afternoon and getting and learning something around cybersecurity.
Can you also put it in the chat forum too? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, totally. I want to do that right now. So again, feel free to shoot me a note, and we'll get you all set up for your prizes. So we want to just kind of wrap up here. We want to make sure that folks have the opportunity to ask questions. Please feel free to throw questions in the chat, and we'll do our best to make sure to answer them. And we'll just stick around as folks are curious about the Space Green Challenge. We put our contact information here. Again, the CCI at calpoly.edu is our go-to place. Should you have any questions that come up, one of our colleagues will answer your questions. Feel free to give us a call at our office line, which is listed there. And of course, please make sure to take a look at our website. We've really built it out this year with a ton of resources, and we hope to answer a lot of questions. Likewise, follow us on social media, because that's where we'll be making a lot of announcements. We will be following up, folks, with a email next week that will feature information about today's session, but as well as some additional info about registration and materials. So I see, I'm taking a look through the questions here. Okay, so can you meet in person with your team on the competition date, or do you have to meet on Discord? I'll pass this to Henry, because I think that, well, I don't want to speak. Like,
Can I have the question again, please?
can you meet in person with your team on the competition date, or do you have to
Yes.
meet on Discord?
You have to be in Discord with your team. You can meet in person, but you still have to interact on Discord. All team members must be in Discord during the competition.
Perfect. Thank you, Anya, for that question.
And Cody, looks like we have one. Is the training material comprehensive for the competition, or should we be seeking extra resources for students? No, the material is about 80 hours worth of material, and it is very comprehensive. I always tell people you can always learn more than 80 hours. So seeking extra resources, sure, I always say yes, but I feel that with the students and I that have put all this together, there's definitely enough knowledge in there to be able to get points and be successful. Great question. Thank you for answering or asking. Cody. Any other ones?
Yeah.
In chat? I think that kind of concludes our today. If there's more questions, let's see what more questions.
I got another question here. I see that there was a question about, is that 80 hours available on the website?
Yes, so if you go to the link,
is.
the first link at the top where it says CCI SGC22, scroll down, you'll see student training. Click on that and enroll. It's free. Yes, it's on the website.
And again, my attempt at being a broken record, the sooner you register and get started, the better your chances are with the competition. For the challenge, can you use any resources during the challenge to help you out?
Yeah, so that's fine, except we try to limit it from most of the time. You won't have to do scripts, but absolutely, if you don't know how to do a specific Python stack and you're needing more information, yes, you can GTS it and Google that stuff.
Though again, coaches, administrators, teachers are not allowed to help.
That's correct. This is student
so
driven.
It's got to be student driven. They got to be the ones driving to find that information themselves. I see another question here about, are we allowed to meet in person on the day of the competition? Again,
Yes,
that is a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Just folks need to be on Discord, as Henry mentioned. Any other questions, folks? I think we got it. Well, again, it has been my pleasure as the MC for today's info session. We're thrilled to have had over 50 attendees today learning about this competition. We hope to see 50 plus teams joining from here. And by the way, this is what I mean by little prizes. Henry is showing one of our prototypes here. I won't give it away, but just to kind of get folks excited about it. So again, it has been an absolute pleasure having this opportunity. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. We want to make sure that you folks have the resources you need, and we look forward to seeing you at the Space Grand Challenge in October. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.